is that the feds are lying to us. That is obvious. It is abundant. If you're able to think thoughts, you recognize that something is very wrong with the story that has been presented to the public.
So if you watch my other videos, you know I oftentimes talk about body language. And one thing I can say about Candace Owens is she absolutely believes what she's saying. But as a forensic expert and someone who's had experience and things like this, I disagree with her assessment that this seems that strange. If you go through and look at what the FBI has released so far, none of it is outside of what we typically see in these kinds of situations. It all seems pretty standard. We're going to talk more about like the text messages and some of the behaviors from Tyler Robinson, the alleged assassin. We're going to talk about that in a bit. But as far as saying that like anybody that has seen this is going to automatically know that something's wrong, I don't actually believe that that's true. I think a lot of us that have experience in this and a lot of us who work in forensics see this as all pretty standard actually.
Is that the feds are lying to us. That is obvious. It is abundant. If you're able to think thoughts, you recognize that something is very wrong with the story that has been presented to the public.
And just to be perfectly clear, I've done numerous videos on the Epstein death, and I've talked about how bad some of the reports were on that. And I'm not saying that you have to just assume that just because the FBI was involved that it was a great case and everything was done right. But I really do think that in this case in particular, we haven't seen any red flags yet.
And I think that what the public doesn't understand, and I count myself among the public, is why it seems as though Turning Point USA executives, and I'll say seems, are not even remotely interested in challenging that official narrative. Who are they protecting exactly?
I think there's a lot of problems with this logic because
Just so you know, the executives, that includes Erica Kirk, because she's a CEO of
CEO
Turning
now,
Point.
that's true.
executives are not homicide detectives. Somebody like Candace Owens, when she sees something like this, she's going to be trying to figure things out. She's going to go, are there alternative explanations? I want to go through every piece of evidence. I want to figure this out for myself. Most people don't really think like that. She thinks about these things in a way that other people probably don't. So the idea that Turning Point USA is not coming out and making statements that are either supporting what she's saying or saying that there's different kinds of investigations that need to happen does not imply that they're complicit, nor does it suggest that they're protecting somebody. And I think that can be a really dangerous leap in logic, because then people are going to identify Turning Point USA as somehow the bad guys in this situation, when in all reality, they may just trust law enforcement.
In challenging that official narrative. Who are they protecting exactly? You'll see oftentimes they and other influencers will invoke Erica as the reason.
I think one of the challenges here, and I can relate to this in other situations, is that when you are so certain about something that you think people are being naive or foolish if they don't see it the same way as you. But I think that the official line that's been provided, that a lot less people are questioning that, and a lot less people see it as strange than she may think. Now, I know there's plenty of viewers of people that are watching this right now that probably absolutely do not believe the mainstream narrative of what happened.
We have the story that could potentially answer all of those questions. And it certainly makes a lot more sense than the slop that the government is currently trying to feed us. First and foremost, Tyler Robinson has never confessed. They acknowledge that he has never confessed to this crime, and he still is pleading innocence on the shooting. In fact, I was told that he was, quote unquote, bewildered by the idea that he carved case.
There's nothing at all surprising about somebody turning themselves in and then pleading not guilty or then not confessing. We see that all the time. So just because someone surrenders themselves does not mean that you would assume that just because they say they're not guilty actually means that they're not guilty. I have a very hard time following that logic here. Because, for example, something that happened about a week ago, Lorenz Krauss, he confessed on live television to murdering both of his parents. And then got arrested for it, and now he's pleading not guilty. Even after like an hour-long interview of basically explaining in detail what he did and why he did it, he's still pleading not guilty. So the idea that somebody could turn themselves in and still plead not guilty is not shocking. This is not unusual at all.
He was, quote unquote, bewildered by the idea that he carved casings. I should be clear, he does not dispute the fact that it is his gun at all. It is his gun.
So another thing that's odd about the way that she's talking about him being bewildered by carving the casings, once again, this is exactly what we see when we go to trials. This is exactly what we see when people have committed crimes. And I know he's just alleged at this point. We'll see how the trial treats him. But point being is that the idea that he's going, well, I don't know how this stuff got there. I certainly didn't do it. Of course he says that. Like everybody says that when they've been arrested for crimes like this. So him being bewildered, I don't think is evidence that he is not involved or that he didn't do it.
Tone down his speech. And
You know what got me with her? I think his word, that leap in logic, that's the perfect term, leap in logic. Because she went
That's a
from,
good
remember when we had to take a critical thinking class in college?
Yes.
And they go like A plus B must, yeah. She said that, first of all, she made the claim that Turning Point USA is not
Yes.
challenging the narrative from the FBI or authorities or whatever.
Mm.
First of all, how does she even know if they're not doing that behind the scenes? Whatever. But even if they aren't, she's made the assumption that if they're not, or if they don't appear to be, then they are hiding something, or they are who are they protecting? Who are they? Like, wait a minute, who said that? How did we get here? Like, I thought we just said A plus B equals C. You were down at F, girl. What's going on? I don't know. So You gotta watch. You really have to watch or listen to what Candace says, because if you really think about the stuff she says, it really does not make a lot of sense.
Yes.
It's just entertaining, and I think that's partly why my brain starts to hurt watching her after a while, because I'm like, if I keep playing with this girl, and then she's playing the role of a gossip too. You know, we talk about we talk in church, we talk about gossips all the time, and the first thing we think about are people who are, you know, girl, I heard that so and so was with so and so's baby daddy and husband and da 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 da. But this is gossip as well. This is gossip as well. She's now coming up and she's bringing a lot of speculation into the atmosphere. And I love how people are going, Candace is the only one doing this. She's the only one fighting for truth through speculation. Like, there's nothing in scripture that tells us to pursue truth through speculation. You know what I mean? Like, everything. I don't know. That lady make me tired, child. I'm exhausted.
Yeah. So, remember, she has millions and millions of followers. So,
Yes.
this information is so valuable to people. They want this. I won't be
Yeah.
surprised if this guy who is going to be the next person Candace Owens is going to suspect. If he's somehow connected to something else, he's going to be the next one. Because anybody who has said otherwise, the next minute he'll be like, oh, he worked for the government.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Yeah.
the key
Yeah.
thing is like, we cannot
Went
trust
to
the
a
government.
Turning Point USA event 10 years ago, and at the time, or
Yes.
whatever, and then it becomes a whole thing.
Yes, it'll be connected. So somebody put this clip together. I thought it was excellent. So watch this, guys.
I mean, we're trusting the feds. Like, since when are we doing that? And trusting the feds. Don't question anything. I don't really trust these feds, right? I'm like, no, we don't trust the feds. And since when do we trust the feds? Trust us, we're the feds, bro. We don't trust the feds. I don't trust anybody. I don't trust anything right now. Okay, I trust absolutely nothing. Mia writes, we need truth, and I trust only you right now. Thank you. Aravic writes, you're the only voice I fully trust. Trust me, trust me. Rose writes, no matter what videos I've seen from people on the left or right calling you crazy, I call it fake and gay. You have my full support. Truth is all that matters, and Christ is king. Yeah, here is the thing. People know truth when they hear it, okay? You know truth when you see it. Charlie's neck indeed did stop the bullet, without question, okay? And this is going to dispel a lot of theories that are out there, and I'm telling you this 100%. Charlie Kirk was shot from the front, and the bullet did not exit. Nothing is making sense at all. It has not made sense from the very beginning, okay? And that's because the feds are involved. I'm grateful that you guys trust me to be your voice. They didn't recover a bullet from a 30-06. Just didn't happen. He was shot with a completely different kind of gun, obviously. We can only trust the feds. Tell us what happened, right? We can't trust them at all. I only have a platform because I keep telling the truth, you know? If I had lied, I wouldn't have earned your trust. There's old footage of Tyler Robinson that is now circulating from a car accident that he had. Tyler certainly refers to it as his car, not his vehicle.
As I get into the intersection, there was a vehicle in the lane.
So I say, just be transparent. I don't trust people that don't just release and speak about everything. There's a lot more information that I wish I could share. There is, of course, a specific reason why I'm asking for that. So if you're going to be transparent, be transparent. I think you should let me see that because people trust me. I'm not going to publish it. I just want to see it. I'm not going to publish the footage, but I want to see it with my own two eyes so I can stand on this platform, so I can sit here on this platform and I can say to the world, no funny business happened. Truly, we can all go home. It was Tyler Robinson and he acted alone. And I think the world would trust me. I think the world would trust me.
She's always shaking down people to get information. Like it's kind of like, okay. Now with the whole Brigitte Macron situation, I hate to go back to it, but let me tell you, it's okay. So remember when she was like, if you're not a man, prove it. And I'm like,
yes.
Who are you? Regardless of how valid the points might be concerning, like if ultimately it's a whole kibosh of folks trying to, I don't know, trans the kids. I don't know if that, whatever I don't even know where her end goal was with that. I think it was something to that effect though. But even if that's the case, she's like demanding people to do things that I think, to be honest with you, I think that she doesn't think they would actually acquiesce to. I don't think she believes that people have time to truly listen to her, to actually do what she says. So, if someone came to me and go, you know, you say that you're a woman, but I think you're a man. And if you don't prove to me that you're not a man, then you must be a man. And, you know, and it's kind of like people, you know, so it's either people are going to ignore her because they know she's full of madness, or she can get them in her web by shaking them down to, you know, fear public scrutiny or whatnot if they don't bend. So that was one thing I saw. Like, who are you? What audacity? Someone said it in the thing. Like, audacity is the word. She has a lot of audacity to demand from people things that they really don't owe her. Nor do they owe the public. Like, I think she made a comment about Erica Kirk, and she said like something about like no good wife or no wife who truly cared or something. She said something to that effect
Yeah,
about how
like no,
Erica Kirk.
which widow wouldn't want to find out, like, what happened to to her husband?
Yeah, she
Because
said
she did
something
say
like that, and
something
I was
good.
just
Yeah.
like, "Oh, girl, you need to back up off of that now, back up now." So I thought that was interesting, but so yeah, this whole situation with show me the footage. I saw that she had gotten some information from someone before, and she said that they agreed to talk to her as long as everything was off the record. And she said that she agreed to it being off the record, but then she shared the information on her platform. So I was just like, what does off the record mean to her? Like, because you didn't say their name. Because I was like, I was wondering. I was like, what is off the record? Because she straight put it on the record. Like, yeah, I talked to my friend and he told me not to tell y'all. So I'm gonna let y'all know he told me not to tell y'all. And he said, like, what? So I don't know.
Yeah,
She throws me
yes.
off.
I mean, like that's Candace. So even in that, right, as far as that's not how you do it, okay? As a journalist, which she calls herself, right? You produce it, okay? You write a piece, this is what you're alleging them, then it's up to those people to come back and refute what you say. You cannot just say like, okay, prove it. Just like in court, right? Like that's why you can keep quiet. You don't you have a right to remain silent. You don't have to incriminate yourself. The person who is accusing you, the onus is
That's
on
the
them.
burden of
This is
proof.
even like biblical. That's why
That's
before you
right.
accuse somebody, you're supposed to produce evidence to back up those accusations. So
That's
if
right.
you're just accusing people, that's slander.
Mhm.
So she
Mhm.
came out the same thing, right? Accusing the Macrons, the same thing, right? So now what they've said, they'll be like, you know what? We want to go to court. Excuse me. We want to go to court, and they're going to produce scientific and biological evidence to prove
Mhm.
that Bridget Macron is female,
Mhm.
and they
Mhm.
want trial. They're demanding a jury trial. They've
Mhm.
amended, and then Candace was asking for them to dismiss. I said, no. Why are you asking
That's
them
what
to
it is.
dismiss? You told
Yeah.
the entire world that you're going to stake your career, and they actually put that issue there. You know what I mean? Like that thing is public as well. The law,
Yeah.
the filing is public. So they actually quoted her, and the pictures there on Twitter. Miss Owens quoted that she actually put her entire career that
She did
Brigitte
say that.
Macron is
Yep.
male.
She
So
did say
yes,
that.
we want to go to court and everything. So
I
yeah, oh
think she's
no,
like grifting while the grifting is good. Because I'm like, girl, like
oh no, they're
at some
coming for
point,
her.
yeah,
Yes,
at some point, this house of cards is gonna fall. But right now, she's like, let me just get as much. This is what it's coming across as. How about let me say that?
yes,
Like, let me just get as much. I know people will listen to me. I have millions of followers. I gotta make up from lost time from either leaving Daily Wire or whatever the case may be. Because I know she was with Daily Wire, and before that, she was with. Was she with PragerU at? She was with PragerU at
yes. She
one
was
point.
PragerU, Turning Point, and
USA.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's just kind of like I don't know, like somebody said grifter. But like and it seems like she might be burning bridges, as she, wherever she goes. So she has nothing to lose. But I'm always curious to know how George is feeling in the background. I'm like, George, you hear this?
Yes,
George, you hear
that's what, yeah, when is George, especially when it is this anti-Jew, like word on the street is allegedly that George supports those things. It's just like, eh.
this?
But I'm
Okay.
like, you know what, he's an Englishman, I just don't see this issue is something else.
I don't know.
But
It's
yeah,
like y'all playing, but
yeah,
yeah, I
she
mean, for
means this.
me, my main things with Candace from years ago had mostly been for her claims that she's a believer and in the way that she was carrying herself either online or in how she followed certain stories and things like that, or how she more so how
Mm.
she kind of carried herself. So that would bother me. And I think the thing that really got me was ultimately when I think she was friends with who's the guy from oh, what's the guy's name? He's married to a man and they got adoptive babe.
Oh,
They
Dave
adopted
Rubin.
Dave Rubin, yes.
Mhm.
So that was her bestie. And I remember, I think she bought him like a stroller or a cart, something like
Yes,
that
she
when
brought
he
him
announced her.
a stroller.
And, you know, and I already knew, just seeing her in different interviews and how she talked about her faith. I was like, yeah, I don't know about don't know about Christian. I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to, but I don't know if she knows really what the gospel is. I really don't. But people were, oh no, she's a believer, da 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 da. But the way she did the situation with Dave Rubin, she's like, oh, I'm not going to go against my friend. And what of the children, when the children are born, they're gonna see people, trashing their parents, and I don't want to be a part of that. And I thought that was so interesting because in the same week she was like going after Kim Kardashian and
Yes, and
just,
then she's friend with Kanye West.
yeah, yeah, she was just going after everybody. And it was like, so you have smoke for everybody else, but when they're your friend and they're clearly living in sin, clearly, because you're talking
Yes.
about Kim because she's a loose woman and how there's immoral women and blah, blah, blah.
Mm.
True. But Dave Rubin is hello. And she's just like, no, that's my friend. But I mean, they're not friends anymore because of the whole Israel situation. But I just thought that was really interesting in how she carried it. So when that integrity is put on, or the lack thereof is put on this front street for me as someone who's saying that they are a believer, that's what I have to kind of, but I was always kind of skeptical of her anyway with certain things. But she seems like she's going off on the deep end, and
I
I don't
think
think
so
she cares.
too.
I don't think she
I don't
cares.
I don't think she cares at all. Right now she's going all in. The Macron situation, I think, did rattle her because now it's just like, wow. I mean, the lawsuit, everything, they've just put everything for her out there. I think she's sensing she might not win that case. And now Australia, they've banned her. They don't want her.
Yeah, I
I
heard about
thought,
that.
to me, I'm like, no, it's Australia. Like, I mean, it's
Yeah,
their country. They can do whatever else they want.
yeah,
But it's, to them, it's just like, oh no, Candace, with her character, she sued all the way to the highest court in Australia. So even to me, I'm like, okay, Candace, like, is that even necessary?
I know. I'm like,
Like,
I
it's
just
not
don't
even
know.
necessary. Like, yeah, people want to come to America, they get refused visas all the time. It's not
Yeah,
the end of the world. So
right.
if they're
Yeah.
refusing you a visa to Australia, so what?
So what?
Why are you
Yeah.
wasting time paying the lawyers? Like, yeah. So it looks like she wanted to
Yeesh.
prove something, but
Lord God. Oh,
that's, yeah, Candace. So now we have, she's putting more evidence. Now this is what she's saying. This is what she's tweeting on her vacation. Okay. We all have crowdsourced. It looks like a decision to murder Charlie Kirk in Utah was made around July 18th. A military meeting with foreign leaders took place on July 20th on US soil. The plane flew into Provo direct from France on September 4th and stayed until just after Charlie was assassinated, flying out of Wilmington on that day. The plane returned home to Egypt the following day on September 11th. So, yes, so this is, so at this point, we're going to wait when she comes back on vacation to show us the proof and all those things. What is not in dispute, there are no direct flights from France, from Provo to France. There are no such flights. So maybe this was a special flight that doesn't register, that you cannot find and everything. So we're going to wait to see what Mrs. Farmer is going to tell us.
so
Because
who is she still? Who is she? Okay, now wait. Okay, okay. When she first came out with her claims, she was strongly implying that Israel had something to do with it. And when she was called to the carpet about it, she walked it back and said, I never said that
yes.
Israel had anything to do with it. I never said. So now I'm confused with this piece of information. Who is she saying? Who made the decision? Who on
We don't know. We just know that it was made on American soil.
on American side? I can't get
On
this lady
American soil.
out of here.
So
Get
right
out.
now we don't know. When she comes back, she might produce the receipts. So we just have to wait for now.
I am
Okay.
exhausted.
And do you know that she also blame the bee cult? Apparently, there's a like whatever company that does bee, you know what I mean, harvesting bees in Utah. So she found a way to implicate the bee cult society. Yes.
I am concerned now. I am concerned for her mental health at this point. And I don't want to be that person but I am just watching this play out. like I said at the beginning, I'm like, okay, that's her friend. She's grieving. Da, da, da. I guess she wants to get to the bottom of it. But to me, this is my whole thing. Even if that's my bestest of best friends, if I'm truly besties with this person as as much as I claim, then I'm going to respect their spouse, because that is ultimately who should be that person's best friend. And
That's
if the
fair.
spouse isn't, what's the word, crashing out like I am, then maybe that's a clue for me to back up. I don't get to go, well, I don't know what her justification is, as far as
No,
how she's
right now,
responding.
Charlie Kirk appeared to her in a dream and told Candace
I saw
that
that. I
he was
saw that.
betrayed. So that information alone, Candace
I
is like, you
saw
know what?
that.
Charlie
I
appeared
saw
to
that.
me in the dream. He told me that he was betrayed. So she's not going to stop
I
until she
saw that.
finds out who it is.
And the way that she made it seem legit
And you
that
can
her
take it to
dream
the
is to
bank.
be
That's what she
trusted
said.
is
Yes.
because she had her friend of hers or somebody was pregnant or something, and she
Hmm.
said she told the person that they would have a boy, and then the
Yes.
person texted her like, "Girl, I had a boy." How I don't know, but in the South, it's a saying that if you dream about fish or something like that, then somebody's
Uh-huh.
pregnant, right? So it's a
Uh-huh.
little superstition. Dream about fish, somebody's pregnant. If you dream about if a bird flies into your home, then someone's about to die, something like that. So that's the thing.
Hmm.
So she's kind of get this girl. She's gonna get on my nerves. But yeah, so she likes to take those little, like you said, those little small crumbs, or what did I say, the leap in logic. And she goes, well, I told a friend years ago or a couple years ago that she would have a baby, that she was pregnant and she would have a boy, and she was pregnant and she had a boy. And so therefore you should trust me with this situation
Oh,
here,
yes,
because
that's exactly what it was.
Charlie said
Yeah.
I was betrayed. I mean, I would man, this is
Yeah.
crazy. Mm.
Yeah. So
She could
that's
probably
also
just
the
write a book. She should write a novel. Just use that
oh, I mean, people
creativity.
buy the book.
I
Like,
will
yeah,
buy it.
people actually
Like, 'cause she's
definitely buy the
entertaining.
book.
She's
Yeah, it
entertaining.
is
Like,
entertaining
if
to be honest.
she's entertaining, but I'm like, but if anybody as a believer is really looking at this lady like, because I'm telling you, people in the comments like, I trust her more than I trust this person, this person.
Yes,
So I'm like, girl, at the end of the
yes,
day.
yes. So that's Lady Candy. Okay, so here she is with the accusation. Like, yeah, the stuff is gonna be all over the place because she's also all over the place, guys.
Mhm.
But all this is in the quest of finding out who killed Charlie. So, but there was the B court, the feds, military,
Israel.
Turning Point, executive, Israel,
Israel.
BB, Josh Hammer. So 7 people
Yes.
that I have counted,
Now,
and
has
I
she
guess
really said much
Josh
about the
Donald.
producer guy? What's his
Oh,
name? The one who confirmed that the texts were legit. He's taking over Charlie's show. I forget his name, but I guess he was Charlie's the
yeah,
producer, and he works for TPH
Andrew
for 20 years.
Kovic. Yeah, there's a clip for
Yes.
him. Yeah. Oh no. Believe it or not, she spoke glowingly of him. The only
Mhm.
thing that Candice was not happy was like she wishes he could have he should have come and defended Candice Owens
Before the text
when
came out, kinda, yeah.
yes, exactly, when everybody else was uh
Okay.
yes.
This is
Twitter
crazy.
users pointed out a very strange tweet that Josh Hammer hit send on 16 hours before Charlie Kirk was assassinated. For no apparent reason at all, he retweeted something that President Donald Trump had sent a full 12 years ago about public executions. Here it is. Here is that retweet. Now, what is the justification for this? There might be one. I tried in earnest to at first rationalize it, right? What could have been going on that Josh Hammer decided to dig through the 2013 Twitter archives and retweet someone calling for a public execution? Would we trust if Josh came out and said that tweet was definitely about Irina? Other people pulled Trump tweets. Some pulled that very tweet and called for a public execution. The first time that he tweeted about a public execution was back in 2013. And he said it in 2022. And He said it in reference to the Boston Marathon bombing terrorist account. Oh, sorry, the Uvalde shooter. And I can tell you that it is not something that Josh Hammer regularly tweets about. Rather than say what he definitely meant or what he didn't mean, I decided to just create a micro timeline of Josh Hammer's tweets the day before Charlie Kirk's assassination. This is what Josh Hammer tweeted. He tweeted a total of 9 times on September 9th, and you can gather what was going on at that day from his tweets. This 3-hour break, maybe this is a 3-hour break where he speaks to Charlie Kirk. And then at 9:09 p.m., again, we're talking Eastern, Josh Hammer tweets in favor of public execution, and there's no context that is provided.
Oh my gosh.
So anybody telling you he for sure meant this, we cannot know that. We cannot know Josh Hammer's thoughts.